I'm Joe Rapari, and this is Tab, the Truth Always Boomer. This is a Tab commentary, that no one asked for. So let's pull the tab on that and see what happens. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Before I get started, I just wanted to thank all you viewers out there for not watching. I'm batting 1,000, so keep it up. 2 thumbs up. Greatly appreciate. I was a never Trumper. To me, he was just another billionaire playboy. I thought he was kind of a doofus. I knew of him, but not much about him. I didn't vote for him in 2016, and by the way, I didn't vote for Hillary Clinton either. I usually vote for who I think mostly corresponds to my worldview, and I thought neither of them did. Then something surprising happened. Trump got elected president and people went batshit crazy. Like someone just stole their firstborn child. Or their blood test just came back and they were positive for the bubonic plague. I really didn't get all of that, but I didn't get upset. I didn't think the world was going to end. I wasn't depressed and I didn't need a safe space. Honestly, I thought it was kind of funny. So after a few moments of laughter, I decided, well, he's the president, so let's find out more about him and see what I can do to help him out and make America better. I needed more data on Trump, so I did research, and I found out a few things. While I was doing this, I found out that the liberals, the left, the progressives, the Democrats, or whatever they call themselves these days, I'm going to call them the LLPDs, seem to be parroting the mainstream media and vice versa. The preponderance of reporting was mostly negative toward the new president, like 90% negative as a matter of fact. I couldn't find any substantive positive thing that they reported on. You think the guy would by sheer luck just stumble or bumble onto something that was positive? You'd think so, but nope. Nothing in the mainstream media. I started thinking, wow, this guy really is a doofus. Until I started watching and listening more closely and started to really pay attention. I discovered a strange phenomenon. There were 5 LLPD and mainstream media talking points that were reoccurring over and over again. The first one, Trump is a Russian spy and a Putin puppet. Number 2, Trump is a racist and against immigration and hates all Mexicans. 3, Trump is a white supremacist and a Nazi. Trump is a misogynist. And finally, Trump is a multiphobe. You know, a homophobe, a transphobe, a xenophobe, Islamophobe. And by being one, he is dividing the country. The LLPD and the mainstream media were in lockstep with these 5 talking points. You'd see it everywhere, and you still do. So what was their evidence to constantly be driving these 5 points down our throats? Well, let's look, shall we? Number 1, Trump is a Russian spy and a puppet of Putin. This was based on the Mueller investigation and the Steele dossier. We know now that was all a lie and a hoax. For 2.5 years, they pushed this down our throats. 2, Trump is a racist and against immigration and hates all Mexicans. This was based on his MS-13 comments that were totally taken out of context by the LLPD and the mainstream media. It was basically a lie. 3, Trump is a white supremacist and a Nazi. This was based on his Charlottesville comments, again taken out of context by the LLPD and the mainstream media. Again, they were lying to us. Number 4, Trump is a misogynist. That was based on his pussy comments, interpreted to mean things to fit the LLPD and the mainstream media agenda, and not reality or the truth. Basically, again, they were lying. 5, Trump is a multiphobe. And by being one, he is dividing the country. Well, I couldn't find a specific article, clip, speech, or any comment that referenced something that could be considered multiphobic. Again, just the LLPD and Mainstream media spinning things to fit their agenda. Basically, they were making shit up. This was all about reporting negatively on the president. And that's this 90% negativity I was talking about earlier. The LLP and mainstream media were and still are in lockstep on this. I also discovered that the left is frozen in cognitive dissonance and thus using projection constantly. It is a 100% certainty that if the mainstream media or the LLPD says something negative about Trump or his supporters, you can bet that it's something they're doing themselves. You can take that check to the bank and cash it right now. Another thing I discovered is that the LLPD and the mainstream media are full of people who have a warped worldview and simply are not good people. They say America sucks. America is a country full of hate, oppression, and racism. America is not a great country. Well, it seems to me that these are people like, the ones in high school and in college you wanted to tell to shut the hell up or just literally punch them in the face. Basically the assholes of the world. You know, the people who got picked last for dodgeball and flag football. And now, they're all grown up and they think they know everything. Just my humble opinion, I'm just an average Joe. I'm nothing special. And I think most people are like me, and not how the mainstream media and the LLPDs portray us. The mainstream media and the LLPDs have developed what I call a totem pole of victimhood, and they play the victimhood Olympics with it. Who can be at the top of the totem pole today? Blacks? Women? Muslims? Trans people? Gay people? Lesbians? Who can be the biggest victim today, oppressed by this big, nasty country? And these female talking heads out there, man, they're creaming in their thongs, talking about the latest victim at the top of the identity politics totem pole. I was taught that the color of a person's skin, their race, religion, sex, or sexual orientation didn't matter. It was the content of their character that mattered. And basically, they are a good person worthy of my respect. It seems the LLPD and the mainstream media don't have a clue what this means. I'm a white male of Italian descent. My family came here legally decades ago. The LLPD and the mainstream media want nothing to do with me. To them, I'm a white supremacist or a Nazi. They offer me nothing. I'm nowhere to be found on their identity politics totem pole or in their agenda. As a matter of fact, I'm not even in the dirt under the pole. As I just said, they are not good people. They represent identity politics. They like socialism, communism, racism, abortion on demand, and giant government. These are all things I have nothing in common with. The LLPD and mainstream media never talk about liberty, individual freedom, hard work, and becoming a success in this country. It seems to me they hate America and what it stands for. That they are ignorant of our founding and the great sacrifices made for the freedoms and liberty we enjoy in this great republic. They love to bash America and disrespect our flag. They seem to think if you work hard and are a success, that you must have done something bad or oppressed someone. The agenda of the LLPD and the mainstream media is not good for this country. They're all about party and power and will stop at nothing to keep it. For decades we have been bombarded by the LLPD warped agenda in the mainstream media, the entertainment industry, and academia. And it's starting to take hold. We now have people who embrace socialism and communism, people who think America is not great and is a oppressive shithole, people who know little about our history and our founding, people who think a giant-run government utopia can be realized and is totally possible. We know it isn't. People who think hard work and success somehow oppresses others. The LLPD and mainstream media embolden these things and embrace them. As I said at the beginning, I was a never Trumper. However, the LLPD and mainstream media have convinced me otherwise. When you approach this topic from an independent standpoint like I have, there are only certain conclusions you can draw. The LLPD LLPD and mainstream media lie to the American public a lot. Their agenda for America sucks. It has no redeeming qualities, but they want to force it down our throats. The mainstream media is the propaganda arm of the LLPD. The LLPD and the mainstream media are filled with people who simply are not good people. The LLPD and the mainstream media are made up of envious, jealous, bigoted haters and assholes who I simply have no use for. And to all you LLPD YouTubers out there, you lost me at the beginning when you were in favor of Medicare for all. It just proves you're ignorant and have not done your due diligence. And I'm going to do my part to stand against you and the LLPD and the mainstream media and your destructive agenda. I'm going to stand up for America and all the good people in this country. I'm going to mock the LLPD and the mainstream media whenever and wherever I can, because it's all that they deserve from me. If you want to be a socialist or a communist, there are plenty of countries in this world you can go to and be that. As far as the LLP and mainstream media is concerned, I will give them no quarter and challenge them at every corner. And that's what I think. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe and hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. It will be greatly appreciated. That's it for now. More news later. Take care, and as always, be safe.